Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much. I just wanted to bring a message that I find is really an important one as we continue the 90-day game plan and anytime throughout your whole Isagenix journey. We are a legacy company and we have an amazing culture, but there are some things that go on behind the scenes that some people may feel they won't get caught doing. That happens. It happens in my team. It happens in your team because remember, we are all part of one big global team. So if I could just be really transparent, really to the point, and really honest with everybody today, I hope that you'll share this message because together we will. We can't do this alone. And I certainly can't be the only one sharing this message with us. So something that's been coming up lately, and I know that it's going to come up more often right now, especially because people are focused and taking action. But keep in mind that action is for every single one of us to also remain in integrity at all times, even when the doors are closed, even when people may not be seeing exactly what you're doing. And the thing of integrity I'm going to speak about today is team integrity. And that, again, is the one team mentality. I'm going to read something that was in our What Drives Us booklet. And it is actually the page on integrity, Count on Me. So I wanted to read this to you, and I want you to listen and even maybe close your eyes when I read this. But ask yourself, am I personally being in integrity at all times? All right? When you're considering building your team, when you're prospecting, when you're connecting, when you're following up with people, ask yourself, am I being in integrity? And I'm going to give you some examples in a minute. We remain steadfast in our commitment to always do the right thing, the right way. We conduct ourselves each day with the same consistency and honesty as though others are taking notice, even if no one is watching. We hold ourselves, each other, and our company to the highest standards, and at the end of each day, we will never need nor feel compelled to defend our actions. Now, something I just wanted to share, because I'm going to read one more thing here, and then I'll explain why it is that I'm sharing this really, really important message with each of you. The page on family. One company, one team, one family. And I'll read what it says here. And again, you might want to close your eyes and just picture yourself in this. See if you are in that one family mentality. Isagenix is unity. Isagenix is legacy. Isagenix is loyalty. We will support you and believe in you through your highs and lows. Ego has no place here. Together we achieve. Together we break through. Together we are family. We believe that people will always do more for others than they'll ever do for themselves. And we cultivate this by creating and maintaining a strong family focus from our corporate team to our amazing associates around the world. We are one. So as I read those two things, you might be saying, well, what does this have to do with the 90-day game plan? And for some of you, you might not feel anything wrong with any of that. And I love these two pages specifically for what I'm about to say. But some of you may be going, thank you, Tara, for bringing this very difficult conversation up, this very difficult topic up. Because what happens when we're all laser focused, we've got our 90-day game plans out, we're connecting with people every day, we're following up with people every day, we're sharing the Isagenix story with people every day. We end up, in some cases, getting really desperate. And when I hear the word desperate, it brings me back to the beginning of my journey because I was really desperate at the beginning. I agree that it was really tough at that time because I didn't understand the culture yet. I didn't understand that it was a one-team mentality. At that time, I felt very compelled to be competitive, that, oh, I better talk to this person before that person does because we're both in Isagenix, and what if I don't get to them in time and they join that team? Just number one, take a deep breath. If that's how you're feeling right now, I get it, I understand. And I'm not trying to be critical to where you're at right now because we all start somewhere in the journey. But just keep in mind, it will happen. People are going to join teams, even in your financial team, with another leader. People are going to join a team that's not financially linked to you, but it's still part of Isagenix. So you should be excited that that person joined Isagenix. But so often we get so discouraged that someone we know joins someone else. Let that go, please. We don't own anybody. We don't own anybody. And when you feel that you own somebody, that's when we will get into a lot of trouble. But in saying that, I also want to acknowledge people who are connecting with people. And if you've connected with someone and they've never heard about Isagenix, they've never talked to anyone about Isagenix, you're golden, you're good to go. But if someone comes to you, or maybe you see them at an event with someone else, maybe you host a launch party and some guests show up with someone else, or maybe, just for example, someone comes to you and says, hey, I heard you're part of Isagenix as well. I've just been talking to Sally about it, and I want to know your spin on it. People who are not part of Isagenix yet are probably looking for a deal in many cases. They're like, well, if Sally can get it to me for X amount of dollars, then I wonder what Sarah can get it to me for. And I'm going to contact Sarah, and I'm going to play one against the other, and I'm going to try to get the best deal and see what one person can do versus the other. Remember that people are conditioned to get a deal, right? But we in Isagenix don't do that. We don't offer something better than what someone else is going to offer, right? We all have the same price point. We all have the same opportunity to grow this as a business. We all have the same products, the same tools, the same everything. So we're not undercutting anyone. We're not offering better things. And I know I've probably been guilty of that in the past, saying I'll pay for the membership fee, or I'll throw in an IsaDelight box or things like that. These are things that we cannot do to bring someone into our team, right? We can't do that. Because if we start making our prices better, that is going against compliance, number one. The other thing is that if you 100% know someone's speaking with someone else, or maybe they did come to an event with someone else, it is not your place to say, hey, come see what is better in my team. Or if I'm your sponsor, this is what I'll do. Clearly, you want to set people up for success. I get that. And you know as a leader what you can offer people. And that's your brand. That's the difference between me and you, because we are our own brand. Even though we represent Isagenix, we are our own brand. And I get that. But when you know that someone's physically talking with someone else right now, it is not your place to try to convince them to join your team. That is not what we do in Isagenix. What you may do is say, hey, I'm so glad you're talking with Sally. That's fantastic. I'm so, I love Isagenix. And if you ever want to hear my experience, I'd love to share it with you. But I'm so grateful that you found Sally and that you and Sally are connecting about this. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. But you're not going to say, yeah, I'm going to sign you up. Even if you spend an hour on the phone with them, that's your choice. But in the end, that person really is not going to be joining you just because you talk to them. Most likely, they're going to start with the person. Maybe they're looking for more information and they want third-party validation. You are simply there to support them, because even though you and Sally might not be financially linked, you're part of the same culture as Sally. You're not going to step on her toes. Now, here's a different scenario. Say, for example, someone was talking to another person a year ago, 2 years ago. Maybe they were even part of a team a year or 2 years ago. And many things can happen. Number one, people join people because they know, like, and trust them. But sometimes relationships don't always work well. If they joined a team before and maybe they had a falling out with their sponsor, or they felt unsupported, or something happened, and they let their membership expire and they went through the full process, and then they decide they want to join you because they've been watching you for a couple of years, that's different. If they come to you and say, hey, I've tried this before, I didn't have good results, or I had a sponsor that didn't do anything with me, or maybe they did and they were too in their face and they scared them away, because some people are very focused on the business and maybe aren't giving them that time to really get into the business. So they leap on them. If you're that person, or you've heard of the people that leap on people just to get them to become a consultant, that's possibly turned someone off. And now they want to join Isagenix just for the products, but they know that because of the way you're not going to jump on them about the business. People will get there when they're ready, if they're ready. But remember, 85% of people that join Isagenix join for the products. And if we're down their throats because of the business and how excited we are about the business, you could very easily turn a product user into a non-member. And they could eventually join another team. So it happens, I get that. But when we're physically trying to poach someone and take someone from somewhere and say, hey, when your membership expires, join me, it's not a good thing to do. It really isn't, guys. It's a matter of letting people be where they're at, support the one team culture, be mindful of what you're doing at all times, because remember, this is compliance. This is not just a a good human trait to have. This is actually a compliance issue. And if you're caught doing things like that, you will be reported. And I would hate to see anybody, and I'm not trying to scare people, it could be an awareness thing that you're so competitive that you really want certain people on your team, and you might see them already working with someone, and you're like, but I want that person. This is not okay, no matter where you are in the journey, whether you're brand new or whether you've been here 6 years, it's not okay. Clearly, people will join you because they like you, because they want to join you, not because you've offered them something better, right? So keep that in mind, and always support the whole team culture without feeling the need to be competitive and poaching people, even prospects. Don't do it. If they've talked with someone already, that's great. Does that mean that you can't talk to them ever again? No, we're supporting people everywhere, no matter if they're joining your team or not. I love that. I'm actually really good friends with people who joined other teams even though they were talking with me. I don't take it personal. It's not anything to do with me. It's something that that person physically chose to join another person, and that's okay. Love people for where they're at, but know that when you look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, and you can say, I was 100% in integrity today, I added value to people even if I wasn't financially benefiting from it, then you can put your head down on the pillow and know that you did those two things in this booklet to be the best associate for Isagenix that you can be. Together we can do this. We can't do it alone. If we've got even a couple people, a handful of people that are going against these values, it is not going to be good for the whole entire company, because just a few that don't follow this create tons of drama, tons of negative attention, and we don't want that here. This is a legacy company for a reason. So please share this message with everyone that you care about. Make sure it's known, because like PK Smith says, if you're not in Team Green and you're not doing this as far as being a one-team culture, then you're probably not in the right company, because that's what we're here for. We're not competitive with each other. We are supportive with each other. So thanks guys so much. I know that the majority of people I'm talking with right now are already on board. And for those of you who are feeling a little bit challenged about this, or maybe you're still in that mindset from corporate, corporate business of trying to walk on people to get what you want, leave that at the door. Get rid of it, because you're so much better without that, and we don't need to do that here. All right, guys? You can all succeed just by being full of integrity. Take care.